Welcome back to another ProjectX TopstepX tutorial. In this video, we're going to talk about the performance stats dashboard that this platform has. This is their quote-unquote trading journal, right? So if you haven't kept the trading journal until now, this is the video that's reminding you to do that, okay? This is the thing that will get you to the next level, okay? A lot of people push. They're like, I don't want to do it. I want to do it. I don't know how to do it. So hopefully this video explains a little bit about how to journal properly and the key metrics to look at, okay? So let's talk about how ProjectX has set things up. Here I am on one of my 150K instant funded accounts with Top Point Futures, which do use ProjectX as their platform, okay? Now, at the top here, we have our date range, right? So we can select the date range, which we want to see our data here at the bottom. There's also 3 predetermined buttons: today, last week, or last month, right? And then on the far right here, we have a share button. The share button, what it does is basically if I click this, click copy link, I can share this link with a trading partner that I have, a trading mentor, that if we go here to another page and share this, as you can see, we get the exact same dashboard that we have on our ProjectX as well, except for we don't have the toolbar here at the top, right? Our balance, maximum loss limit, and so on. Everything else is completely the same. And this is a continuous shared link, meaning that, as long as this account is active, it will be active to your trading partner, okay? Now, starting on the numbers, we have our total P&L right here. We have our trade win percentage, which is 76%. Okay, how many trades I've won versus how many trades I've lost on this time period. Okay, our average win versus our average loss. So what's our average winning trade versus our average losing trade, and also the ratio. We have the profit factor here, so the total gains and the total losses. So if you do the math between these two numbers, this should come up here, our net P&L. Next thing here, we have the daily account balance graph. So shows completely our balance for this time period from last month, closing balance, right? What has it been during those days? There's also a trading coach, which I'm not sure if it's completely AI or it's just statistically based, but it says, for example, Monday seems to be your best trading day. Try to understand what makes this day particularly successful for you, right? So it gives you, some tips here and there. Personally, don't look at it that much, but sometimes it does say valuable things. Most active day, again, Monday, 4 active trades, 21 total trades, 5.25 average trades per day. Most profitable day is Monday, $1,700 almost, and also our least profitable day is Friday here. We have our total number of trades and total number of lots traded, and also our average trade duration. So this is where we're getting into that filtering process, which we want to do as we're going through this trading journal, right? So try to understand what's making us money, what's losing us money. And it comes from simple things that, hey, what's our most probable day? What's our least probable day? If this was your trading journal and, maybe I wasn't just looking at last month, but maybe last 3 months or last year, and we have a least profitable day that is very visible, I'd completely stop trading that day, right? Like that would be a day where I do not want to trade, because why would I want to trade on a day where, on average, probability wise, I am losing money, right? Just because the market is open doesn't mean you have a trade. Okay, average duration trade, we talked about that. And then we also split it up into average winning trade duration and your average loss duration, right? So comparing your winning trades versus your losing trades, sometimes you can get some very key insights from this. Maybe you're holding your losing trades too long, maybe you're holding your winners, you're cutting them too quick, and so on. Because I am mainly scalping, there's not much of a difference between these. For example, it's a couple of seconds. But if you were day trading, and let's say your average win duration was 10 minutes, but your average loss duration was like 15 minutes, it would be something to look at, because that means that it's becoming very hard for you to accept losses and you're just holding and holding and holding, or you're just cutting your winning trades too fast. You're not so confident in your system. So a lot of these numbers are just numbers on the screen, but there is a way to translate them. And that's what you have to do as a trader. We have our average winning trade here and our average losing trade. Now, keep this in mind, okay? Because it looks pretty bad here, right? If you are someone who scales in or scales out a position, okay? So scaling in is you're adding onto a position. You have 2 contracts and you add on to it, so you have 3 and so on. Scaling out, you are trimming. So you start with 5 contracts, you sell 1 and then you sell another one, and you sell two more, right? That's scaling out. If you're one of these traders, then some of these metrics might be a little bit skewed. So your average winning trade and your average losing trade might be a little bit skewed because it counts them as separate trades. Maybe, on that trimming position, you made a total of $1,000, but it was like $200 on one trim, $300 on one trim. It will count them as separate trades. Okay, that's the only disadvantage to using this journal right now. Again, use it if you're not using a paid journal, but because it's limitation, right? Be careful a little bit if you are that type of person. If you're fully in, fully out, all of this data here will be completely right. Trade direction here. So how many trades I've gone long versus how many trades I've gone short. Not something I really look at. For me, it's all the same, but there are some people who have troubles going short or long, but for me, it's all the same. Best trade here and worst trade, and it also shows you, contract amount you entered long versus when you exited, and also the date and time. You also get the daily P&L graph here as well, same graph that you get up here, and also shown in this form. We have the trade duration analysis, right? So how many of your trades are lasting under 15 seconds, 15 to 45 seconds, 45 seconds to a minute, and so on. And it also gets translated into a win rate analysis, right? So during these times, how many of your trades are you actually winning? 66%, 88%, and so on. These numbers here look fine. What I would be looking for is a time frame where you're winning 20%, 30% of the time, right? You want to look at that, why it's happening, because obviously it's not really going to be sustainable in the long run most of the time. Okay, so looking at the calendar here, this is the P&L calendar. Now, as I told you guys, each exit and entry is calculated separately, right? So I'm not taking 18 trades. I'm not taking 5 trades. Like if I click on this 5 trades here, if you look at closely what's happened, let's look at these last 3 lines here. As you can see, the entry is all the same, right? We see that. So I opened a total of 5 trades in that position, but because I sold at different timings, it's counting them as separate trades. You see that? Where it should be just one big trade. That's about what, $600 or so, well, a little bit more maybe. Again, that is the only disadvantage to this platform so far, or to this trading journal so far. You can journal based on trade. So if you click this plus button here, right, you can type in here, or you can also add the picture, right, just so you can remind yourself what exactly you were looking at that day. Maybe you have an indicator, maybe you had something going on that you were specifically looking at that day. Or if you don't want to do it for separate trades, you could also do it for the whole day and entirely, right? So same thing, type text, save journal, add a picture, you're good to go. I hope this video helped. Again, use this to your advantage. If you haven't used it yet, again, it's going to be on your left toolbar called performance stats. Unfortunately, it will not be available on mobile. So if you're just trading from a mobile, from a phone, try to do this at least on a weekly basis so you're, preparing yourself for next week. Hope this video helped. Catch you on the next tutorial.